This is the Levels Network. I'm Justin Horo, joined by the Triple OG, Willie Mason OG. We are back. Round 20 is behind us. Origin 3 is behind us. But before we completely move on, mate, I've got a whole bunch of questions. Some of them just comments with regards to our takes from Origin. So we'll address them, and then we'll completely put Origin behind us. But what about you, mate? How was the weekend? What did you get up to?
Pretty low-key, man. Just family time. Obviously been away all last week. Just getting back Thursday. Busy from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, Monday's come quick. A lot of football, man. Went on Channel 9 yesterday with Joey and Freddie and Billy, which was quite – it was good. I haven't been on that sort of platform for a while. It's we've been doing our own thing and just doing this sort of podcast world, leaving the mainstream alone, but it's always there.
Yeah.
And they've always been sort of knocking, going, do you want to come on? I'm like, nah.
That is the best version.
Yeah, I like that.
Of actual rugby league chat. That specific segment that they do on 9 when they sit around.
Yeah, and I didn't know because I don't really watch it, right? But then, because I was like, what is this? It's Joey's talking, all this sort of stuff. And then Freddie, I said, is it just one-on-one with you, Joey? And then he goes, no, Bill's there and Freddie's there. I said, sweet. So we're just sitting around a table having a chat. Then we talked about, they said the podcast. I said, this is a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
This is what it is. Blokes just sitting around a table having a chat, not structured, right? I said, imagine all the shit that we could come up with this if this was a podcast with our careers. I said, that's why our podcast hit, because I've been around it for a minute. And so is Hoz. Maybe
there's levels to this shit, and maybe we get those guys to the podcast.
Because you probably saw that yesterday. Anyone who watched the show, or just four grown-ass men who had fucking great careers can sit around and just no egos and just talk footy and talk about someone, give someone his flowers, and I love how they do that.
Yep.
You know, do a little bit of history on me and all that kind of stuff. And I just sat there and just had a chat.
So who asked the core of it? Because I want to watch it back for sure. I love that segment.
Joey did. He started it. And then everyone
prepare
just
for a couple of questions
little bit, not much. I think I'm pretty open book, but I think there's a couple of little things that they wanted to touch on, like my upbringing and all that sort of stuff. How I got down to the Bulldogs, so I elaborated on all that sort of stuff and career, looking back here, there, past tense, levels, family, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, just all in 15 minutes. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, I was doing radio yesterday, and someone reached out. And this is the. I suppose our audience transitioning to 9, Fox, and then obviously what I'm doing at SEN. Someone goes, messaging and goes, Triple OG is speaking to the OGs.
Yeah.
To the OGs.
And I love those guys, man. When you can sit around with 3 of the greats, and then, as I said, there's no egos. Everyone just sort of is pretty content with themselves, know who they are as humans. You know, sitting there trying to be in awe of Freddie or Joey or Bill. I'm not like that. Or we can all sit at the same table and just chew the fat and have a good chat. So it was great.
Love it, mate. Love it. All right, let's get into it, I've got a whole lot of stuff I'm reflecting on Origin now that we've gone past. I think this is a pretty good representation of someone here who is an L1 from day one, Joey Clark. He's always up in our messages, so I thought I'd read this one out on his behalf. I'm here to give New South Wales their flowers. As I said, I would if they were able to pull off the W in a decider at Suncorp. New South Wales thoroughly deserved their win. It was an awesome game to witness. The level of intensity, speed, and the duration of that type of football last night was unbelievable. All 34 players deserve a huge round of applause, with the biggest round of applause going to the Blues for their epic win. Unfortunately for us Queensland fans, today was a somber day, but we can't fault our team's effort. It was just a brilliant moment from LUAI, Best, and Moses that got the win. And that's what Origin is about. Is moments like you've talked about with JT before, Mace. Hopefully Queensland can win it back.
That's probably the best comment I've read through this whole Origin series. Very diplomatic and just gives New South Wales their flowers. And he's not saying that Queensland need these players, this, that, refs, all this other bullshit. Appreciate that, Joey Clark.
Yeah, really good, Joey. Really good for Joey.
I can't agree anymore.
There are a couple of other really good ones in there. We've got look, if you go on other forms of social media, and it gets a bit toxic on other ones. I think for the most part, in our comments, most people are pretty level. Yeah, you get your passionate, fuck you, Queensland.
Yeah, but if you can't sit there and break the game down like that, give New South Wales their flowers, credit everybody, you're a fuckwit. Do you know what I mean? You have no idea about rugby league if you're still sitting there, even right now, nearly a week later from Origin, still be hell-bent on Queensland. You're a fuckwit as a person. So this guy, he gets it.
Joey Clark
gets it.
Yeah, and he's been, like I said, he's been a big supporter of us for a while, so he's always been there. So let's get to not only him, but everyone who has been supporting us. I say this every episode because it's important for us. Our YouTube subscribers, our followers on Instagram and on TikTok. we've just gone through a really big period for us here on the podcast, but all of it helps. So we've boosted up 27.5, 30K is the target by the end of the year, 42.7 on Instagram. Let's get to 50K by the end of the year. TikTok is flying, 71K. And remember to leave us a review on Apple or Spotify, and make sure you get your comments flying, because everyone, it's honestly been so hard during the Origin period to pick a few out and go from there, because we've got so many. But boost it back up, because now the NRL starts.
Yeah, whole new year started, man.
Before we get to the NRL, just got a couple. So here's a couple of replies on YouTube. This one's from Flobastino241. Edwards ruptured his PCL halfway through the game and still kept up.
He's an animal, man. That's an animal. Is it posterior cruciate ligament? That's what PCL is? Yeah. I mean, obviously can play with that, and probably not to the level that we thought he could, but he got through that. If that was halfway through a game, like, fuck, how's he get through that?
He's an animal, mate.
He is an animal.
We
he
gave him his
missed a game on the weekend. Yeah, we did, mate. We gave him enough reps. He's a different breed, that kid.
There we go. But there's a little salt and pepper on top to even highlight more what he was able to do. All right, here's one.
I like this one.
We forgot to mention Reece Robson, so we broke down every single player.
Sorry, Reece Robson. We are sorry.
All right, this one is from Osvaldo.
Yep.
Studilo. I think so. Stuvidillo. Poor Reece Robson didn't even get a mention in your breakdown.
Sorry.
What did he do to you two?
No, we were fucking. We just genuinely skipped over it, because we did every other player.
Yep.
Anyway, I watched that game yesterday again.
Yep.
He's a fucking animal. He's an animal. Some of his defense in the middle. There was one play where he made 3 tackles in one. He hit one straight off the ground, another one. Only counts for one, but so he would have made his efforts in the middle. He got caught on like sometimes one-on-one with Walshy around the middle, bang. You know what I mean? Like some of their real didn't bang, like proper one-on-ones. If they can move around a little bit and get that ball away, you're talking trouble.
He's so underrated. I think the average fan doesn't realise how much Reece Robson does. One, because it's the form of the Cowboys in the last couple of years.
He's not a loud character, mate. He just does his job.
Well, so I was watching the Cowboys game, and I watched the presser straight after. Todd Payton. You'll love this.
Big Rod. Too.
So Rocket Rod and Tommy Did and Ruben Cotter were speaking after the game, and one of the reporters asked, "Did Reece Robson rub it in?" I can't imagine Reece Robson would have rubbed it in, because he's a pretty humble guy. And Rubes was like, "Oh, nah." And then Toddy Payton jumped in and goes, "He didn't have to. Jimmy Maloney did all the talking for him." Jimmy Maloney's on the coaching staff for him. So Jimmy Maloney did all his talking. And again, that's what you love. Like, you guys in the middle, the layering ups for the outside backs, the try scorers, the wingers, some halves.
Hookers get too much attention. If you're a Larry little hooker, you don't want to wake up a dude like Payne Haas or Tino or someone that goes, let's just get at Robson all game. He's like, I'm going to make my job harder. If he just stays below, I've never seen a real cocky hooker to go at it like at big boys. When I'm playing against someone, you're fucking lipping them out. I'm getting at you.
What about Reed Marnie and Mick Ennis?
Mick Ennis wasn't that loud to me, man. Okay. Do you know what I mean? He was more talking to backs and shit. Like, he wasn't talking to front rows trying to put them off, man. Trust me. He was more talking to halfbacks, the other hooker, where they can go at each other.
Gotcha.
But he ain't talking to the big boys. Reed Marnie's the same. Reed Marnie, he's playing to the rules.
Yep.
Can't get a punch yet. Mick Ennis wore his punches.
Yep.
He got Heine good.
Yeah, he got in Heine well.
He's the only one to get Heine. Yeah. Only one. And they obviously talked about that. That's a big thing to get Heine. Yeah. No one really goes that Heine because he's such a great player, great bloke, and you just wouldn't. It's just like, what are you trying to go at Heine for?
Which is what we talked about with LUAI and Ches, right?
Just
like
a real
the respect. Once certain players get a level of respect, sometimes they get left alone.
So Mick Ennis played a fair bit of footy in Toronto as well, so that's why he doesn't. There's a respect thing there. And we do. He's a Toronto boy. He played in Toronto. So it's just like, you don't really come at each other like that. It's just, but I've seen him go at some other people, man. It's fucking funny.
Yeah. But what about Reece Robson, mate? He was excellent in Game 3. I thought his best game of the series was Game 1. I thought, But
it got sold because we lost. Yeah. No one gives a shit. The amount of work that he goes through. I know he's a great defender, right?
Yep.
And he distributes off the ground, and that's what I think the coach wanted. Madge wanted someone who's not really going to engage markers, just give the ball to the big boys and let them fucking run rough shot through the middle.
That's why he done that. Nod over Appy,
he done
right?
that.
Yeah.
Appy's he's probably the most creative hooker of all time, Appy.
Yeah, yep.
And that's probably hit him. That was a detriment to him at the end.
Yeah, I reckon.
You know, like he probably won't play Origin again, Appy. He's probably 30. Well, he's Fijian, so who knows? He could be 38. He could be 42. But, yeah, Reece Robson, I think he's going to be the mainstay for about 3 years. I think 3 or 4 years. He's going to have some people pushing him, like Mitch Kenny. I think he's going to come for him.
Yeah.
But the amount of work he got done that got done in that game 3, when that was high intensity, he didn't come off for 40 minutes. Mate, it was high praise.
You're right. With Mitch Kenny, I think Reece Robson's only 26. I thought he was older than that.
He's got an old head.
He's been, or he does have old.
He's been fucking.
It's been battered.
He's probably made more tackles in his career right now than I did in 17 years.
Yeah, there's only
easily. Actually, that's an easy stat.
Yeah,
he's averaging 40.
Yeah, he'd be close to top tackler in the competition.
Yeah, right, and now. He doesn't. He ain't just coming. He ain't just like a legs tackler. He's banging.
No.
I like him. I rate him highly.
I think I've always been a big Mitch Kenny guy. I had Reece Robson and Mitch Kenny in my team, and Mitch Kenny was really good.
How does St George let a guy like Reece Robson go?
You
got to really look at their recruitment, mate. They haven't got even fucking. Liddell's all right, but like, he ain't no Reece Robson.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I think there's been a few changes before it even got to Little. But yeah, Reece Robson's one there. At the same time, they had him and McInnes, right? They didn't keep either of them. I think
Damien Cook,
yeah. The return, he's going back down there. The recruitment during that period that they really struggled, if you look at some of the players that have gone on and had pretty good careers, is a number of them.
You say that about most clubs, but like when you miss guys like,
huge. When they're Origin players that you let go, and now it looks like Reece Robson's going to play.
Pretty sure Reece would have been happy to play for St George for his whole career.
Yeah,
it's just like me, like leaving Newcastle. I didn't want to leave Newcastle. I'd be happy to play there for 15 years.
And in a way, you're like, once you get the opportunity, you try to rub it in even more, don't you?
Fucking oath.
Yeah. So Reece Robson, he was close to, he was really in a group of, 3 or 4 for me for the Wally Lewis medal outside. I thought Angus Crichton would deserve the Wally Lewis medal, and then there was about 3 or 4 that were in the running. Jerome LUAI, I thought Zach Lomax was really good. Reece Robson was one of them, and then obviously Moses and Edwards because they only played 2 games, but
he's up there. He's a top 5 player in that whole series.
He was.
Yeah.
Yep. He was
unspoken.
All right, let's get back, and this is the chat around LUAI. So a lot of it, the criticism that we got was putting Nathan straight back in the team next year, and then one of the halves missing out. And this is some of the chat off the back of it. To back up the LUAI talk, last year's game 2, the whole stadium chanted LUAI is a wanker as we lost. The mental fortitude he has is insane. To be so widely villainised by both states and still turn up to Suncorp 1 year later and be that guy, even waving at the camera for the stadium as we are able to win. I love that we can have those players you love to hate. Each Origin era has had them.
Well, guess what? I was one of those guys as well. So it's not that hard. It's just like, I think people like look at society now. If you're getting bullied, you think it's online bullying or whatever. That players don't give a fuck like that. He's built like that, LUAI. Like you cop that shit, man. Like it's like a badge of honor when you go up there and they boo you. Do you know what I mean? Like Willie's a wanker for fucking 80 minutes is like, it's insane, right? Yeah. But it's never going to fuck with your footy. Trust me. Like if you're going to let that shit get you, fucking life's a lot harder.
There would have been some guys that would have.
Yeah, I don't think so, man. When you're up there, you got to fucking play like. You got to play like a man.
Yeah, gotcha.
And LUAI's like that. He's never shirked it in Origin. He's always going to be that villain guy. He doesn't have to say anything. He hasn't really said that much. He's just been going at like guys that Queensland love, like DCE and that. They're like, how dare you? Like he's going to go at anyone, everyone. So it does suck getting like booed, but it's like it's a bit of fun as well.
Yeah, and he embraces it, and you're right.
You've got to embrace it. If you don't, no one's feeling sorry for you in that team. No one. None of your teammates, because you created this shit.
Yeah.
I called them all fucking rednecks. Well, what do you expect? You know?
were the OG.
Yeah, LUAI has done the same thing. He expects that. You know what I mean? So he's going in there going, well, fucking please boo me. I'll be disappointed if you don't.
Yeah. No, well, this is a compliment too by the
it is a compliment, but I'm just saying he's not phased at all the way. Nothing can phase that man.
Who was before you? Who was some of the guys before you?
I think Gal copped it after me because Gal was that sort of villain.
Can you remember the villains?
Me, it was like, I don't know. It would have been like in the
MG just because of the fights.
But MG was in the early 90s. Only played one series.
Yeah. Who else?
Joey copped it a bit because he was great.
Yeah.
Well, not that many, man.
No, Joey obviously with what he did and antagonised them, but like someone like yourself, like name calling, like the subliminal post that Jerome does in front of Caxton Street, shit like that.
Good night.
And the one on the post.
It's a bit of a different warfare now, right? Like when it was like you'd say shit and they'd put it all in the papers. Where his is a like
social media.
He's a social media warfare, and it's like it's pretty fun how he does it. Where obviously there was no social media with in our era. I just said some shit that was like honest, right?
Yep.
But it was just like I was massively caught out of context sort of person, right?
Yeah.
Because it was how you print it in the papers was like, yeah, it looks fucking awful. Now, what do you expect in game 2, Willie? I'm like, oh, what do you think? I'm like joking around in this sort of like, because we just won game 1. I'm like, I don't know, fucking hell, what do you expect? Like 65,000 crazy rednecks drinking piss all day, like crazy, like just absolutely booing the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And then they waited till like the game day and went, Willie calls Queensland rednecks.
You would have had a 10-minute chat and they would have just got that.
Yes, that's the thing. Like I was the king of getting caught out of context. I'm like, oh, well, fuck it. You got to wear it, right? Because I did say it. But if you take it out of context, it looks madder.
Yep.
But I love LUAI. He's a king at this era now.
Well, staying on LUAI quickly before we get off, John DeCosta wrote this: LUAI is going to be going to the Tigers, and it will most likely impact his rep jerseys, just like it did to Appy. What do you think of that? Do you think
we said that?
Do you think it can weaken, or if he's able to turn this Tigers team around, it could strengthen?
This guy's glass half empty. LUAI's not.
There are a lot of people like this.
I'm 100%. But like LUAI's going there, going 5 years. I'm gonna turn this joint around.
Yeah,
he's going with that attitude. He's got the same mindset as Critter. Look what Critter's done to our place.
That's a good
I'm
point.
not saying it's all Critter, but he's a big fucking part of it, right?
Yeah.
The way he swag, the way he leads the team, like his energy. LUAI is cut from that cloth. Those two are those guys out there, right?
Yeah.
And Toto, right? But he's going to get lion's share of the ball. He's going to create that whole culture around what he thinks works out there. Everybody buy in and everyone will. And I wouldn't be surprised if, like, just say the first 12 games, they've won 5 or 6. And then we've got a whole different conversation, right?
Yep.
This is me glass half full.
Yeah.
Right? Always thinking like that. Players don't think that negative shit. He's going to go there in his head. I'm going there. I'm going to turn the whole culture around. This is fucking my team, blah, blah, blah. I'm the man here.
LUAI's
I've been waiting for it for 6 years.
LUAI's going in with the mindset like, I'm going to get Appy back in Origin with me.
Yes. So that's the difference in mindsets. That's a fucking loser mentality. LUAI doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Critter doesn't have it. That whole Penrith team doesn't have it. Everyone's trying to say that they're like cocky and shit. They've been in 4 fucking premierships and won 3. They can do it. In my eyes, they're the most humble team I've seen.
Considering what they've done.
Considering what they've done and all the success that they've had as a group, they're the most well-behaved. They're all fathers and everything like that. They're model citizens.
You know what?
Be happy with what they're doing out there.
I would argue that they were cockier before they'd won.
Yeah.
You know, like
the road to it. The road to it.
On the way up.
Yeah.
They were like rubbing people's heads and fucking around. And
now it's like...
And then they won the comp. And then ever since they've won the comp, I mean, they talk a little bit of shit at the parades, but... Fuck, of course they're getting...
Bro, you're 2 days in.
Yeah.
Fucking, you're lucky you're getting a sentence out of these boys.
Yeah.
But they're like, I think people should be putting them on that fucking pedestal really up there because like the model citizens that they've created out there through that dynasty, it's fucking second to none, man.
Yeah.
Like they should be praised in Penrith a lot more. Considering where they're from. You're from out there, bro.
Yeah.
You know where these kids come from. And like the fucking hardship to get where they are. Give the kids their flowers, man. They're fucking unreal what they're doing.
Yeah, they've completely changed the area. Like there was a perception of the area, specifically around the Mount Druitt area, like being from out west where...
it's all gang related, all that sort of shit. There's a lot of that stuff, you know. The demographic is different. I know that sort of stuff. It sucks.
Yeah, and it was more about like, oh, we don't have a chance and all that sort of stuff, and we come from, and that's fair enough because
hope is what they're giving.
Hope, mate.
A lot of 10-year-olds, they all want to be LUAI, they all want to be Critter, they all want to be Nath, Cleary, Lenu, all those brothers, favorite? Man.
I've been seeing so much content on him like over the last couple of years. But Bizza is
Toto,
Bizza. He is the most. I don't think there's not one. If you do not like Bizza, you are the biggest hater. You were Buck Nasty from Chappelle Show.
Buck Nasty. That is you go to the haters ball.
You go to the haters ball because it is impossible to hate Bizza. I seen Channel 9. They did when they do the talk with two people sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
They had him and Yowie next to each other. Oh, it was so funny. Normally I watch about 30 seconds to a minute of those clips and then I get over it.
Like, if he hasn't, like, in the last 10 years, he's obviously the best winger in the game, and, like, he plays Origin. I know he puts his Samoan jersey on before the Test jersey, but he would have easily racked up 20 tests.
Oh, easily.
He's easily the best winger in the game. He just keeps evolving, and yeah, I just love what they've done out there, man. And just for that whole area, the whole of Western Sydney just fucking stood up now. Bam, two of us is out there. All these fighters are out there, man. It's fucking great.
Yep. This one's from Alex Hiddenini. It was Harry Grant that Moses stepped.
It was Harry Grant. I watched it yesterday.
And Hammer didn't tie in from marker, didn't get there quick enough.
There's no way Harry Grant should ever come offside. It was disrespectful, bro.
Well, that
from a fucking Melbourne defender like that, you're always coming off straight. You never go sideways off your line. I know fatigue and everything happens, but like, that was a bad move from Harry.
That's why I said I thought Harry and Ben Hunt were underwhelming in this series, and look, it's understandable off the back of not having the big boys.
A little bit rattled too, right?
Yeah,
they copped some big hits. Harry Grant was going at it. Ben Hunt copped that hit from fucking Spencer Leniu that should have been out for 6 weeks. He comes straight back on. Care about the players heaps.
Spencer was definitely
Spencer was a wrecking ball, man.
Here's a good one. This one's from Willie Liano. Fellas, love the potty. What's the FOMO feeling like for someone like Teddy, who is a faithful son of the Blues jersey but not a part of the winning team? How hard would that have been for a guy like Teddy to watch, in particular, because Teddy's been there for fucking a long time and it's been a tough couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be proud, right? Yeah. But you'd be going, I can still play. I played in game 1.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm still there.
And we had,
but then you just got to pass the torch on and just be humble a little bit. The ego takes a little bit of a hit, and you just got to put your Blues fucking hat on, right? And see what's the trajectory of this team. You've had your moment, right? You have 5 or 6 years of your peak. That's about it. And the greats, Cameron Smith ruined it for everyone. His peak went for like fucking 12 years. You usually get about 6 or 7 years on the rep scene and you dominate and you have those times, then you can look back and go, yep, that was my time. But Cam Smith ruined it for everyone.
Because not only did he ruin it for everyone because he goes on that long span, but he also kept other people involved in that long span.
Peak was 2003 to 2016.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's what he played rep footy for. I think 2016 or 17. When did he retire?
2019, didn't he? 20, when they won the grand final, didn't they?
He didn't 2020? Play the grand final, did he?
Yeah, he won the last grand final. He won the grand final and then retired. Yeah.
So 15-year peak, 15, 16, just say like that.
And he
ruined Jake Friend's career, played 2 Origins, and McCulloch. They were coming through about 2008 and 9.
Matty Ballin was really successful.
So they all accumulated Origins of just say 7 or 8.
5 or 6,
maybe. And he got fucking 300. So his peak has ruined everything, but usually just like a great Origin career is 7, 8 years.
I played 120 games. I reckon he played more rep games total Australia and Queensland than me.
He's nearly 100. He's like
that's crazy.
I think he's about 80. I think he's like 40 something and 40 something. I think he got maybe 50 tests. I don't know.
Yeah.
He owns all the records.
Should we have a look at it? Let's get it.
Fuck you, Cam Smith.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, he ruined some hookers. Even their test careers, right?
Yeah. Yep. Let's talk.
One of the greats. I think he's slept on what he's done, man.
All right. So he had... even before you get... So normally when you get on rugby league projects, you go straight to the stats.
I think he played 460 games or something. Yeah. Something like that?
Yeah. So even before you get to the stats, but before you get to the stats, when you're in rugby league projects, it's got all his accomplishments. So look at this, honours and awards.
Don't even look at it.
Tri-Nations, World Cup, 4 Nations, Anzac Test, State of Origin, Premiership, World Club Challenge, All-Stars, Ron McAuliffe Medal, Dally M Hooker of the Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Dally M Player of the Year twice. Dally M Representative Player of the Year 4 times. Golden Boot Award winner twice, 10 years apart. Wally Lewis Medal winner 4 times. Dally M Captain of the Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I haven't even got to the stats yet.
Sick.
Now I'm to the stats here. So State of Origins, 42 appearances. And so 4 Nations, 19. World Cup, 17. Tri-Nations, 5. Add them together. Anzac Test, so that's 30, 40. Oh, wow. 30, so 47, 52. Oh, just under. So he got 94, I think, all up. Origins and Tests.
That's terrible, isn't it? That there should solidify him as the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
but they still won't give that to him.
Oh, really? Who do
They're
you...
going to put JT ahead of him, Joey.
You
Different
reckon?
positions, yeah.
You reckon?
I reckon.
Yeah.
And the Pantheon of greats, when you look at it, they'll probably put him.
I've never asked this.
He'd be top 5 player.
I've never asked this before. Is he your number one?
No.
No, he's not yours.
He's not my number one hooker. I'm picking Danny Badiris. I love Bedsy. I played with, that's just preference, right?
That's biased.
Because when you go to war with these guys, man, in New South Wales and all that kind of stuff, and I played with peak Badiris and pretty much peak like Cam Smith. They're both fucking totally different players. I'd prefer to play with Danny.
Yeah,
it's like Joey and JT. Exactly, right? Joey and JT, same. I'd rather play with Joey. Because it's defensively motivated in my head, right?
That's fair enough.
When I'm playing in the middle, I understand these guys at home. Like I play with these guys. I've like been in tests and origins with them, next to them,
played with all 4
next to them, right? I got to go to war with these guys, right? I got to protect them. I'm like, I have to protect Danny Badiris.
Yeah.
Or Cameron Smith, you know what I mean? But like they're going to go at Cam Smith because these big guys, because he wasn't a fucking hitter like Bedsy.
Yeah.
And same as JT, you're going to try and get at JT. You can't get at Joey because he just puts you on your back. And JT, and they're totally different players as well, JT and Joey. Don't compare them.
No,
you can't compare those two.
Same position, completely different players.
Totally different players. So I don't compare. That's just my preference on me playing with who. When they say, who'd you play with? I'm not saying who's the best player. So when they say, who'd you play with? Who's your best 9 that you played with? Danny is. And who's your best 7? Joey is, because I played with them, right? And I'm like, when I look back, like here diplomatically, I'm like, maybe they weren't better than Cam Smith or fucking Joey, right? When I sit back like this, different eras as well.
Yep.
You know, so it could change in a long time.
Yep.
But right now, when you say play with, they're the guys. Okay. I was just blessed to play with them.
Yeah. Jesus, some good ones. This one is, so I'll help you out with this and then you can just give your opinion. Yesterday we did this composite Kangaroos team, and this is from Ryan Frost. If you were to pick a team from players that only represented in this Origin series, who would it be? So Turbo's out, Nathan Cleary's out, and we went to
Dylan Walker, Toto.
No, Dylan Edwards. Oh, yes.
Dylan Ed. Yeah. Who'd I say?
Dylan Walker. All right, I'll give you my team and then you see if you would have any changes. All right, fullback, Dylan Edwards.
Yeah.
Wingers, both New South Wales wingers, Brian Toto and Zach Lomax.
Yep.
I've got Critter on one centre. I've got Hammer the other centre. You got Bradman Best, Latrell.
Fuck, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. No one probably from Queensland outside of the Hammer, right?
Yeah. I might even pick Hammer. I'll pick Bradman Best.
Okay. All right. Well, that's we'll go through that. That's what we're trying to do here. 6 and 7, Jerome Luai and Mitch Moses.
Yep.
Front row, I went Payne Haas with Ruben Cotter. I thought Ruben was excellent.
Ruben's fucking, yeah. I'm thinking, can Ruben be lock in my team?
I've got Paddy Carrigan in lock, and there's also Cam Murray as an option for lock too.
Jesus. So Crichton's your back row, isn't he?
Well, nice and easy one. Yeah. Back row is easy. Crichton and Martin.
Let me get back to that other prop.
Yep.
Fuck, it has to be Ruben.
Reece Robson hooker. That's an easy one.
I like Harry. I just like the way Harry Grant plays.
But this is this series.
But Reece Robson, Reece Robson
dominated.
Yeah,
both
deserves that.
Yep. On the bench in the 14 jersey.
So you got Carrigan at lock.
I've got Carrigan at lock.
2 back rows, New South Wales.
Yep. Martin and Crichton.
Cotter and Hart. Yeah, I like that.
Yep. 14 Ches Daly. I think he outplayed Connor Watson's the other option.
This is you going against New Zealand right now. You're going to pick Cherry at 14.
This is the best potential 18 I've got that played in the Origin series. And I think Daly was excellent in game 1.
Probably I just wouldn't have him on the bench in a test.
Oh, as in this is like accumulating like a team.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I get it.
Yeah. So you probably, it's like Ben Hunt playing in the 14 jersey, really. And I think he outplayed Ben Hunt.
You fucking in the halves.
And also like Connor Watson only played, 30 minutes combined?
No, DCU.
Yo and Lenu. 15 and 16, and this is a tough one. I could have picked a number of players. I picked Latrell in 17. I'll have him on the bench. Now he probably won't play.
Were you trying to do the Cobbo thing with Billy?
Yeah. Latrell's going to turn down. He won't play off the bench.
I'm picking Cam Murray. I'm either starting Latrell or I'm not.
Well, Cam's going to get in the team.
Oh, Cam's 18?
Yeah. Latrell won't play 17. Cam was good. I thought Cam had his best game in game 2. Didn't play game 1, and then was good in game
3 was great.
Yeah.
Fuck, he did all the tough carries in that game.
Yeah. Without being anything crazy. And I thought,
no one was making meters in that first half, bro.
Yeah.
apart from him and Payne Haas. And the only reason why they got their sets off was because of Cam Murray.
Yeah.
His late footwork and getting in between. He got pumped a couple of times, took his licks, but you got to. Payne Haas was hard to stop, man. Yep. And Carrigan was going at him in attack and defence. I wonder how that is at training. Because they did go at it. But there's nothing malicious or anything about it.
They don't strike me as two guys that are...
They could, because I think Carrigan went at him. I think, I wish Payne Haas had went fucking at him harder.
Yeah.
Because he gave him ample opportunity, I reckon, because I love that because Payne Haas ran at him and then he ran back.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, this is going to surprise a couple of people because our BC Dogs of the week, despite New South Wales winning game 3 and the decider, are both Queenslanders.
Well, I just looked at it. I just looked at it and went, I know how hard it is to back up and like play after a losing series, right? And you go and play your best football for your club team, right? Tom Dearden is my dog of the week. I'm going to get to him straight away and just explain why. I'm not even looking at stats or anything, just eyeball test. What he did in game 3 up there was fucking miraculous. His defense, I'm just thinking, how sore would that little fucker be like Friday and Saturday? You know, he just puts 85 kilo ring and wet.
And he jammed Liam Martin all game.
Yeah, but he jammed I think he got Dylan Edwards real early.
Yep.
You know, he got right underneath him.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, real fucking brutal. His tackle was outstanding. He left everything out in the field, right? So then last night he plays that game against the Dogs. The only reason why they won is because of him.
Yeah.
The show and go, gets through, little pass, try time.
Yep.
You know, like it was...
Nice little subtle short ball to Lukey to kick off
everything. He was the orchestrator for everything. And then the last sort of play when we had the last chance at it, who's you go, bang, jams Curran. Game over.
Curran was excellent.
Curran was great. And it was just a great shot because if he didn't want to put his shoulder into Curran, Curran's going to like shake him a little bit, find his front, and then something could have happened on that.
Easily.
And then bang, and then it was like the field position, they're still up there. It pretty much made it impossible for the Bulldogs to score. And for him to do that, such a little fella like that, and he's only young, mate, he's going to be a problem. He's not even in his peak.
Yeah, they're not good hands up there, aren't they?
Yeah.
With him and Ruben Cotter as the captain.
But his defense, mate, that's what impresses me more than anything. He's a runner. He's a natural runner. He's just really strong in the hips. You try and go high on him, good luck.
Center of gravity is so low.
So well balanced. The kid is so well balanced.
Yeah, he must have the fucking strongest core.
Yeah, yep.
And just to add on to everything that you just said, he had one clean line break, which led to a try assist. And he also had another one to Lukey. And
that was the one, the try assist sealed the game.
Yeah.
We were ahead 18-14.
Yep.
Bang, nearly under the post. Game over. 20-18.
So good.
Fuck.
So good.
Clutch, man. But the defense is just unbelievable.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I agree. And for all of those sort of same reasons and the mentality of what this guy has been going through for the last couple of weeks, my BSC dog of the week is Reece Walsh. He had 1 try, 2 line breaks, 4 line break assists, and 2 try assists, but that's cool. Yeah. I expect that from him. But the mentality to go through a really brutal series, I was at Suncorp Stadium. I seen him hobbling for the last 15 minutes, but this is a must-win for the Brisbane Broncos. And I know the Knights aren't the Knights of last year, and it's probably not the level of competition.
Still NRL.
They needed to win. They were desperate. They had Kalen Ponga as their fullback. So I love the mentality that he's shown when he's going against Kalen in the past couple of years. It feels like he has taken that matchup personal in the last couple of years. It feels like he has taken what everyone was saying about him over the last couple of days, because we live in a world where when you give someone their flowers like we do to Dylan Edwards, off the back of it, then comes criticism for whoever they perceived to go past.
Yeah.
And now people are forgetting what Reece Walsh did last year. Everyone's quick to forget.
That's what Origin does, man.
Yeah.
You've got to dominate Origin.
Yeah. And you know, people have been coming for him. I feel like he's very aware of social media and what people say. And he had that dog look at him. Like, he got to give Adam Reynolds some credit too. We'll get to that a little bit later down in the breakdown. But he had this steely look in his eye. And it was a must-win game for the Broncos. They've basically got to win out.
Yeah.
And he reminded everyone so quickly after Origin that he is still that dude. And for me, they are still the most dangerous team to the Penrith Panthers.
Yeah, I believe it. I give him his flowers too. He did turn up, and everyone was saying he's going to have a week off. He's have a week off. He's like, no, fuck that. He knows who butters his bread.
Yep.
You know, and I think the players respect his, because I think he easily could have been out. Trust me, like he was fucking battled, and he still turns up and does that. He carved Newcastle, bro. I don't care if Bradman Best got injured. He's doing that to a lot of people. Because just guess who he's getting at? Jackson Hastings. He's fucking standing there. Smoked him like 3 times. That centre had nothing. He wasn't burning the centre. He was smoking Hastings.
Yes, that's his target because he wants to burn the 3-man to get to 2-man, right? And then
fucking stuck in the mud.
And then on the other side, right, the 2 guys that, you know, the guy that he gave the most trouble, Dean Mariner scored 2 tries off the back of inside-outside Gagai. And Gags is another guy who would have been backed up and would have been kicked.
Yeah, he was battled, man. He was battled and bruised.
So it says a lot about like his mentality going. He's like, it was a fuck you mentality. I don't care who's in front of me. I'm going after it. Love it. Also, by the way, just want to let everyone know, because it was such a chaotic last couple of days, we went through our tips, but I didn't put any bets on this week. I actually did all right. Like I picked this game for our Levels Punters Club. So I had Reece Walsh, first 60 minutes, Broncos -4.5, tick, got that for the Levels Bets Friends channel if you followed on that. And then also in this game, I had Broncos to win, tick, Greg Marzoo right at the death, tick, and my man, your man.
Ezra Man.
He's right
back.
through the middle.
He's back. His boy's back. Reynolds and fucking Walsh.
All right, we'll get to that. Let's get to that game in a bit and break down these games. I forgot one question, so let's get to this. Thoughts, now that we've probably watched it a couple times, hey fellas, about the team song. Is that a new song or has that been around for a while? I love it. Haven't heard the blues song in a while. That's a good point. That's a good point. So I don't know if that's a little...
It is new. And I think, what we saw it like as a South African rugby team that sort of sings that sort of like New South and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so that's the chant they have.
The vibe. I spoke to Zach Lomax on the Moles on Saturday morning. Yeah. He said Jerome LUAI come up with it. So they put their version of it.
Yeah.
But if anyone hasn't watched... any sort of content on South African school rugby and the chants,
they got that vibe
song,
from that.
Mate, it's so entertaining to watch those guys.
They got the hook and everything from that, and they just turned it into New South Wales, which I think probably started off a little bit slow. I think everyone's just in a rush to get to the fucking main bit of everything. Yeah. Like, just let it build. Let it build, and then just listen to it. I suppose it's not made for TV.
They didn't quite have the rhythm of it, right?
Yeah, and it ain't made for TV. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, unless you get like, if you've had 1,000 people chanting that song, it would sound cool.
Yeah.
They need to do that when they next year, when they come into camp, they do all these fan days and that. Fucking get everyone the words and sing that motherfucker and film it. That'll look sick.
Jerome literally had a baseball bat.
Did he have a baseball bat, Jerome?
Baseball bat.
Yeah. You see, Jakey had it after.
I love it.
It was like, so Luke, you just
Jose
said Jerome.
Canseco's bat.
There was, if anyone has seen The Walking Dead, there's one of the main villain characters, Negan, has a bat.
Yeah.
And it was almost like knocking the front door down. Yeah. Lomax also said that they had a bit where Jakey had to New South Wales in your mouth or some shit like that. And Jerome...
New South in your mouth?
Yeah, something like that. And Jerome and Critter... And I think maybe Bizzer had got like, Jakey, man, you got to say this bit. And I don't think we got to see it. And Jakey had anxiety all week about
it. He would have been so worried, and he's captain and stuff, you know, he's like, he's a worried head. But I reckon if New South Wales, if they're going to go with this song and buy into it, the next time they film it and do it properly, they're going to send the words out to all the young kids at a high school or something like that. Just get them all around and have thousands of people around and sing that fucker, film it, then it will look sick.
Okay.
So I'm going to look sick with 17 players and people just like guys like Jakey Trebojevic not really putting his heart and soul into it.
Guys like Jakey and Cam Murray and
Cam Murray
wasn't natural to those boys.
It'd be like trying to get Danny Badiris and Joe to sing it. You got to put Cole Chisel on for those blokes.
There's no way any of the OGs are singing that. Nah.
It's not flying.
Who was in that squad that would have done it out of your team? You and...
Not that many.
Yeah.
Not that many. Tamana Tahu, maybe.
Yeah, Munzie.
All the Brown brothers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's it, basically. Yeah. Let's get on to the games. All right, round 20. Round 20. And it was a good round. I really enjoyed it.
Considering, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, it's a little bit of a lull from Origin. No, man.
All right, let's kick it off. The Raiders 20 defeated the Warriors 18. I wrote down that the Raiders could lose another couple of vets at the end of the year. Whitehead's moving on. Not sure what's happening with Big Papa. He's got a mutual option for 21. But it's still got a nice mix of vets, sort of middle-aged, middle-tier players. So the vets are like Tarps, Rups, and Fogarty. And Fogarty was really good for him. Then you've got your 50 to 150 gamers like Hudson Young, Horsburgh, when fit and not suspended, Timokor. And then you mix in with some of the best youngsters in the game, I reckon, right now. You got Savage, Strange, Mariota. Ricky's got this.
The Strange is special, man. Because he's in Canberra, no one gives a shit.
Yeah,
and he's just sort of like he just sort of fits in. He's not a real outspoken kid. He just does his work. He'd be a future rep player, man. I said that ages ago.
The Fogarty injury really hurt.
Yeah, because he had to take the team. He's 18.
Him and KO Weeks are definitely not a 7. Like either of them are 7s. They're
look way better. They look like they could really push for a top 8 position. Especially with the old heads sort of leaving, like especially Elliot Whitehead, what he's done for that club in the last 7 years. He's been outstanding. Hudson Young looked like he was back. Everyone looked really rejuvenated. Joey Tarpanay looked outstanding.
Tarps was awesome.
Everyone just looked like, fuck, we're back. Is that Jamal Fogarty?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
They looked like they knew what they were doing and executing how to win it, how to get a W instead of just going out there and just fucking playing football and just thinking we can spin it wide when we do that. Like, just be gritty. You're gritty. That's that fucking team, man. The Green Machine.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking about it. Like, it was a funny comparison. I was thinking about on the night. It was actually the second night once Reynolds was back. It's almost like you just got that older head in the middle. Like if you compare it to rowing, right? If you go, I don't know if you've ever been kayaking. Have you done kayaking or anything before, mate? Go down to Rose Bay. Go.
Oh yeah, I have.
Beach.
Roosters. We should go around that fucking dumb island.
It's fun as fuck, right? You can
shoot. Not when you fall off.
Yeah, it's fun as fuck for you going over to Milk Beach. It's about it feels like it's 500 metres over, 500 metres back. You get tired ever so quickly, and then you get over it, and like this isn't as fun as I thought. That's what happens when a vet's out for a couple of days.
That's your analogy.
And then you've got the Olympic rowers, and you got that little burger who sits on and just screams the whole time at everyone else. But you're rowing in unison, and it's so much more cleaner, and everyone works towards the same goal. It's equally as taxing.
Now I get it. What you're saying.
It's equally as fatiguing, but you just have that guy giving you direction, giving you motivation, and that was my comp for it.
Yeah, I get it.
I was going on a weird.
No, I knew where you're going because I fucking
back.
Just put PTSD, just going on those stupid kayaks around to the bridge and then back.
Yeah.
At the Roosters, I was like,
torture.
did you fucking fall off that?
Mate, yeah, hip flexes and shit. Oh.
I'm not built for a kayak if you haven't noticed.
Nah. Big, taller guys.
No, mate.
No, we struggling.
Back, hip flexes, yuck. Yeah, but they look like, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up like just scraping into the 8. Just yucky again. That's what they do. But Fogarty's the dude.
Well, I'll give you a specific moment. With about 5 minutes to go with the lead, Ethan Strange made a break from about halfway line, ran about 30 metres, beat 3 or 4 defenders and dropped the ball.
Yeah,
the first person
on the last tackle, wasn't it?
The first person there to pick him up was Fogarty, and this isn't from lip reading or seeing any of what he said, just me understanding what a vet or what I'd say to a player in that moment is like, hey, young fella, fucking great run.
Hold the fucking
But we need to hold the ball because he was trying to offload and he was trying to come up with the big play. We don't need that. And specifically with Jamal Fogarty back, almost would have been going on back now.
Weeks ain't going to say that.
No one in that team can. Not even a Tarps in that, because Fogarty can go, hey, I'll get us to the end of the sets. I'll put us in a good spot.
How old's Fogarty?
Fogarty would be 30. I'll look it up as we go.
When did he debut?
He's a late bloomer.
He's late, isn't he?
I reckon he would have debuted at about 22, 23. And he was in and out of first grade, yeah. Okay. He was in and out of first grade at the Titans for a couple of years. I really
rate him.
He's 30. Right, there you go, right on the and he debuted.
19?
He debuted in 2017. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe debuted at 23, 24.
Yeah, okay.
2 games at the Titans in 17, 18 in 2020. 21 was his best season. And then they let him go because that's when they thought Toby Sexton was emerging. Remember? Toby Sexton, who's doing a good job now at the Bulldogs as well. But yeah, that's one of those decisions that, again, at that point, a lot of people, everyone was critical of the Titans for that decision. But at that time, you didn't know Jamal Fogarty was going to be at this level. I think he's gone to another level this year that I even probably didn't give him the respect that he deserved off the back of it.
It's hard to get a good half.
It is. It is. I think in the last couple of years, even more so, we've seen it, right? The Warriors.
Done.
Yep. I thought they were done before this game anyway.
Same.
9 games they've played this year with the result being a margin of 6 points or less. They've won 2 of them. They've lost 6. And they had the 1 draw against Manly. Why can't they win the close ones this year, or is this just a representation of how close the competition is?
Oh, wow.
That's
a good question.
When clubs go through this, you see where it's an unsuccessful year because they don't make the 8, but there's just so many little moments in games where like,
this is one of those years where you're going to be sitting back going, fuck, we had that team.
What ifs, man? Because they do have a really good roster. Yeah. They've got really good
They're never going to have that again. This window's closing very rapidly. Like these young guns, they're coming up, but like you're losing Fanua Blake.
Yep.
SJ's on the way out.
Yeah.
Tulvas is like 31. Yeah. You know what I mean? His prime's sort of gone. They really needed to get something out of this year, because I don't think we're not the amount of like energy was around that Warriors team this year.
Lost the momentum.
Yeah, like you're not going to get that again, because once all these big dogs go, you're like, this is nearly another rebuild. Not a rebuild, but like who's going to take Fanua Blake's spot? Cable's at the end of his tenure. You know what I mean? Like you got these guys. Mitch Barnett's he's going to turn into that guy anyway. Tohu Harris is probably at the end of his career.
Yeah, he's out for the season.
You know
already.
what I mean? Like another. He's a battler, man. He's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
So all those guys that was all in for this year, the amount of energy spent trying to get something out of this year, and you fucking come up with nothing, and disappointing. Disappointing. Yeah, I get it, but like.
Well, that's obviously a good replacement.
He's going to do it's a great replacement, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think they're going to have the team again like this that can really make a run for it. Everyone was tipping them to win the comp. Top 4, minimum. They're not going to make the 8. And the realisation is coming into it real quick this week, and they're like, fuck, it's nearly impossible. I know mathematically people are going to say they can make it if everyone fucking loses. Well, everyone's in the same boat as the Warriors.
Very competitive.
It's the same competitiveness. And they're those games where you lost by 6, those 9 games. I've been in seasons like this. And it's hard to tell a young kid that you fucking concentrate on one game at a time and get these W's and concentrate for 80 minutes, and then we'll fucking be sitting here in 6th or 7th position or 4th position instead of fucking 13th. It's hard.
I reckon it goes back to the blow. They almost set the tone from the first round.
First game.
The first game, 12-0 up, and we're travelling against the Sharks.
They look like the best team I've seen for years in that fucking game. They end up getting beat.
I was almost going to put a live bet on them to win the comp after they strolled over so easily.
When Fanua Blake scored that second try, I'm like, they're winning the comp by 50. And that's what every Wars fucking fan thought too.
Yeah, and you can understand, right?
Yeah,
like they looked so good in that first bit, but is it just complacency that set in with this Wars team? Like, did they expect it was going to happen again?
Can't play for 80 minutes.
Did they expect that just because they set this fortress, this graveyard sort of mentality at home, teams would come in there and they just blew them away and they had the blackout?
Now it's totally opposite. This is going to be a year when they're just going to be licking their wounds, man. Yeah. This is terrible. Because look at the fucking...
They're too talented. The team's too good to be in this position.
Yeah. But would you put them ahead of Parramatta as a roster at the start of this year? They're probably on par.
I think they're more complete than the Parramatta Eels.
Yeah.
I think Parramatta
and then going off last year, what they did.
Yes. I think Parramatta have got better top-tier players, like top 3 or 4, like you compare them.
The Browns and Moses.
Yeah, high-end, but then they really drop off with their depth. I think, like you look at this Leka Halasima coming off the bench for him now.
I like
he's
him.
a tearaway. I like Jacob Laban, the young fella's coming through, Lautea. Yeah. They've got some nice young players, man.
I just going to miss this window of like when they had that top 14, man. And it ain't like they've never done this before.
Nah.
They did in 03 when they made the prelim, and then they fucked it in 04. Didn't make the finals with the same fucking roster.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen Shawnee Johnson's he's starting a potty now with the boys over there at Clothing, and I think Shawnee goes around again, eh?
You reckon?
I think he goes around again.
Fuck, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
He's copped a battering. Maybe next year he will, because there's no pressure. There's a lot of pressure on that team this year.
Yeah.
That they probably thought they were handling.
Yeah, my gut feeling is he goes around again.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Just to go out on his merits.
Yeah.
Right? Just go out on your own. If he wants to come back, he knows what it takes to come back.
Yeah.
He's got to get his body right. Best abilities, availability.
Yeah.
He needs to get that.
So no Adam. Obviously, Charnsy's been super.
Fish is going to replace.
Fish is a good replacement. Wade Egan, I still think's got a heap of potential. When they're on the front foot, he's probably the best.
He's been
9.
battled all year. That's what I said. I told it before last year when they were like everybody had Dally M fucking years.
Best of it,
6 or 7.
Your best facilities availability.
Yeah, you had your best years, right? They all like, and now they've had like probably the opposite.
What about Chanel?
I like him.
Yeah,
I like him. I like that. I like that.
He's missed kick. He's missed kick at the end.
Oh God.
I tell you what,
that's a defeat. Oh, when I watched that, we were both watching. I was like, "Oh shit!"
You know what set him up? The first kick that he had. So Adam Pompey gets injured. He has the one from the sideline, which was going to be a tough kick, but he shanked it so bad and hooked it so bad that he tried to place that last one over. And he's an 82% goal kicker with 50+ goal. Like,
I feel sorry for him, man.
You know, apparently he got racially abused too. Text
really?
Messages. Yeah, there's been that report coming out.
Be better.
Yeah.
That kick was. Who's going to say it's guaranteed him to win anyway? It would have been a draw.
True.
You know, it wasn't the sealer, but you know, it's disappointing for him.
Just sort of another version of what's happened with the Warriors.
Yes,
this year.
It's just another way to look at it. Like you look at that specific moment and go, "That's our whole fucking year wrapped up in one moment."
Yeah,
could have been.
Yeah. So if you go, so last week the week before against the Bulldogs or whatever, they have that call, and then that game that puts them on 20
points.
So they would be on 23 if they won this game and the Bulldogs off the back of, it's not guaranteed, but Chanel Harris-Tavita goes on and they win a golden point. The Bulldogs drop to 22, the Raiders drop to 20, and they leapfrog.
Sliding doors moment,
test, mate. So many moments for them. Crazy year. All right, the Rabbitohs 42 defeat the Tigers 28. This felt like a New South Wales Cup game, to be fair, with all the players that were missing and some of the bodies out there. I want to get to specifically the Tigers team in a bit, but what could have been is my main point for South this year, mate. Like, slow start, they finally get it together, then they get the Wayne announcement, and then they lose Latrell after they go on a run. Cam Murray gets suspended off the back of Game 3. All this while missing Campbell Graham, Isaiah Tass, Tyrone Munro, Lockie Ilias very early after he got dropped, and Tavita Totola was a big one as well. Then Joe Arrow, he finally gets surgery after being battling for the last couple of weeks. What's a pass mark for South Sydney? I don't know if I asked you this last week.
If they can get near the 8.
Yeah.
If they can get near it and maybe be equal points and probably lose on for and against, I think that's where they're heading.
Can they limp into the 8, do you think?
Yeah, they probably can.
Yeah.
That's the sort of team that can catch a bit of fire. If they can just keep getting these ugly wins. Like, that was an ugly win.
Ugly.
But they're lucky they're playing against the Tigers.
There was a number of players out there. There's a number of players there. Well, Warriors have got the Tigers this week. The Souths have got Canberra, so that's winnable. That's down at GIO on last game, 6:15. Yuck. On a Sunday. It's the last place you want to play on a Sunday night. Ricky brought up a good point about the Raiders playing, he complains a lot about a lot of stuff, Sticky, but the Raiders playing an 8 o'clock game on Friday night in the middle of winter whilst also playing the Warriors, who then their fans have to watch the game at 10 p.m. in New Zealand. How is that game scheduled?
Yeah,
they finally give them a primetime game on Channel 9 and they make it post-Origin.
Against the Warriors?
Against the Warriors.
They're silly.
I can understand that one and being frustrated with that.
Yeah. What are we talking about? The Tigers. What do you think about?
No, the Rabbitohs. Just finish off them.
Rabbits, they'll be all right. They'll be like thereabouts. I think they might finish on 10th or something like that. That's what I think. Yeah. And even if they did get in the 8, I don't think they're going to push for anything. So
they're not going to worry anyone, are they? They're going to be probably the team that you want to play.
If they do make the 8, it's just like you could be happy with, it's a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
That's all you want. And then you hope to God that your big dogs play good. They still have that nucleus there that can fucking really shock some teams. So you don't want them in the 8.
Imagine if they finish 8th, you finish 5th, and then you got to play Latrell, Cody Walker, and Jack White in first week of finals.
That's going to be, it's going to hard. It's
Kalal Matangi and Cam Murray.
Just say, South play the Bulldogs if the Bulldogs finish 5th. That's a hard one for the Dogs,
that'd be yuck.
That would suck.
That would be yuck.
Yeah, because they got so much talent. One person can just fuck you up.
The Rabbitohs get to play the Tigers again too, so that's...
There's a story here when we go with they're coming 8th. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they've got that talent to do it.
Yeah.
It's a hard one for South, man.
For the Tigers, I wrote down this team is every bit of Benji Marshall. Like, you think about the flair and the brilliance that some of these youngsters come up with in parts of games where you're like, you can't prepare for that.
No.
Like, you can't game plan some of that shit that Lachlan Galvin in
Fainu, they do on the left edge. Fuck.
Talon De Silva, he's been a player of a lot of potential there for a long time. But with that comes unforced errors and really silly errors where they give the ball back. And
that second half.
Last week I had a chat to Drew about this without you being here, so I want to get your thoughts on it. I think Benji, there's already been one change that's been made. Robbie Farah's not going to be part of the coaching staff next year. I think Benji needs to get a completely different look. Remember how critical we were a couple of years ago of Kevy having all his mates as assistant coaches? A couple of weeks ago when I was at the golf day with Ciro talked about how good JT's been because JT is completely opposite to who Cam is.
Yeah.
Cam said he's fully defensive-minded. He's got his version of attack, obviously, from being at Penrith, but Jason Taylor brought him completely new ideas that he just hadn't thought of, and he said he's a completely different personality than me as well.
Completely.
And for that's improved Cam as a coach. I think Benji needs that. I think he needs to go get some hard-nosed, defensive-minded coach from
Dean Young or someone.
Something like that. Yeah.
I get it, man. Yeah.
Do you get
I think so too. Like I'm not sure who his defensive coaches are. I'm not sure who they are.
They're all his boys, mate. So it's John Morris, Chris Hyington, and Robbie Farah. They're all like, that's his crew from 2005. I know. They would all think the same. It'd be like as close as you, Rennie, Tong, and just say Braith were, and all great minds of rugby league, all of you would be dogs of war mentality and you would all think the same, right?
100%.
Because you've lived it, you've been through it. So I can understand why there's comfortability in having guys like that with you. But I think with the improvement that Cameron was telling us about, Ciro was telling us about,
that's
JT.
exactly what. But it's not like Benji's going out and recruiting these guys, right? Is it up to the GM? The GM's got to get all that shit done, bro. Like, that's the only reason why JT's there is because of Gus. Gus put him there.
Yeah, gotcha.
Ciro ain't going, fuck, hey, JT, come and get on this coaching stuff. That's the GM. Knowing his coach, knowing what he needs. So whoever the fucking GM is at West Tigers.
Shane Richardson. Yep, he's got to do that.
Do that.
Yep.
Be better at that. So get the proper guys for Benji, right?
Dean Young's a good shout, eh? That would have been
someone
his bread and
young.
butter.
Do you get someone young? Do you get a vet? Do you get, I don't know, like what sort of person do you need? Personality do you need, right? For Benji, to improve Benji.
So we talked about the coaching stuff with, because I predict Kevy's, so John Cartwright's going to Hull FC and he's taking
good luck
with him.
Johnny.
And Matty Ballon's going down to the Titans with Des and one end. So he's going to have a whole new staff again next year too.
Yeah, sucks.
I was looking at it going, because of the injury, but then how good he looked, it sort of changed my mind on Saturday. I was like, could there be a world in which Adam Reynolds stops playing next year and goes straight into the staff with Kev?
Yeah,
but
I don't think so.
He's going to have to. He's going to have to.
Yeah, you get no players really going to do that straight away.
Yeah,
unless the club like go, here's your salary for next year.
Yeah,
we'll pay you if you don't want to play to be on the coaching staff. That's the only way that can work.
Yeah, no, I think that was before I seen the game on the weekend, and then I seen how crucial Ren was to that Broncos team, and I changed my opinion on
the
that.
Tigers need to just revamp. I mean, there's a lot of tries that were scored against that defense. That was fucking amateur hour, man. The first try that Moale scored, was a simple block, and then like hit Moale when they had like Jack sweeping out the back. It was like a hang play, but really deep. And you got the other guy chasing up on Jack. Yeah, well done, Jack. But like, what are you reading there? Yeah. Like, and then you just spot Buller up, and then it's a try. What the markers doing? Like, just little details in defence that they need a defensive orientated fucking coach there that fucking is going to drive it and drive it and drive it. Won't happen in fucking straight away. No. Well, look what happened. They put all those things in place with the Bulldogs last year for this year. Yeah. All right? So it might take a little bit, but you need someone cut from that Penrith or Melbourne tree to come in there, totally diplomatic, not a fucking ex-West Tigers fan, full-on defensive orientated man, and fucking nail it. Yeah. Because that's the only way defence will build competitions.
It was young Talon De Silva got caught at A, seen Jack Whiten
coming. You don't do that.
Deer in the headlights, went straight for Jack.
Jack was running over the sideline.
Yeah, he was so hard.
Fuck, mate.
He was going so hard open, but he sold it really well too.
He did sell it. He did it a couple of times. Yeah. And I've seen that play a few times, but it's just like, you can handle that in defence. Where do you think Moale's coming, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, just real basic stuff like
I liked it. I thought it was a nice play.
It's not a fucking play. It's a bad read.
Yeah.
It is a bad read in defense. You should be able to stop that at fucking Coogee Dolphins.
Yeah.
Seriously. It's that fucking, and it's online defense.
Yeah.
Get off your fucking line.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm just like, wow,
That's
okay.
where it all starts.
And this is the first fucking 10 minutes of a game where people should be getting battered through.
I thought they were going to win by 50 after that try. Yeah.
But the Tigers, it is like a bit of Benji too, because they're like, yeah, you can score that. We'll fucking score next.
Yeah.
We'll score next. Who's got next? You know, but you can't win the fucking final like that, bro.
No. He's trying to, in my opinion, I think he's trying to insert confidence in them, like back themselves, but then they don't have the control.
Yeah, if this team's cultivated right and coached the right way, they can do something in a couple of years, right? Get a couple of guys like LUAI and Taruva in and mix it around and get some vets in there. Stefano hopefully stays. You know, the Galvin kid, really like De Silva, Appy. Like, come on, man. If you can't build a team around those players I just said then, with some of these OBs coming through, like centres that you've got coming through, like the catchment that you've got, the catchment that you've got out at Seatown, everybody wanting to play for the Tigers, something is wrong at that joint if you can't get something right. Not winning premierships. I'm just talking make the 8.
Yeah. When you think about how that year in particular, I guess the guy, everyone talks about Benji and Robbie and that so much, but Scott
Prince, I knew you were going to say that.
And Brett Hodgson was solid at the back too.
Yeah, they had a good team in 2005.
Veteran presence at the...
Todd Payton, Heinington, they were hard to play against because they played a lot of football and they were good enough defensively to get at you.
Yeah.
Because they worked hard.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hard-nosed defensive.
I thought this year they were going to really like improve. Like those guys in the Bulldogs, I thought they were going to come through at the same time.
If Jerome and Taruva sort of can't improve this team, then it's going to be really hard, I think, moving forward.
Then the coaching staff's you're going.
You get 2 years, I reckon, max.
They'll give Benji next year till around about this time.
I agree.
Maybe even before Origin. But I think maybe get all your players through if they've got any, and then they'll like go, all right. Then what do? Then you just got to pay Benji out his 5 years.
Yeah.
You just got to cut it.
I don't think he'll even get to 20 weeks. I think he'll get 10 weeks.
I just hope to God that they fucking play good.
Yeah.
And they do it like you got to have a sort of affinity for your coach, right?
It's like watching
everyone's going to get sad. Yeah, people losing their jobs because you're not playing fucking good.
I never want to see that.
I never want to see that, mate.
I love seeing the Bulldogs play well this year. I love seeing the Dragons play well this year, who have been perennially down the bottom.
Because I know what that club's like as well, the Bulldogs. You know, fuck, mate, ruthless.
Yeah. And I feel sorry for the Tigers fans that are stuck by them and been through the wars with them. All right, let's get to the Broncos 30, defeating the Knights 14. Had my dog of the week, Reece Walsh. This performance is why I stated that the Broncos are the second best team in the comp. But they might have left their run a little bit too late. If they can manage to get to 5th or 6th.
Fuck, who cares? They're just thinking 8.
They just need to get to 8.
They're thinking 8.
Yeah.
And so's South.
Yeah.
So's Canberra.
Yeah. But there's despite those two teams being a pain in the ass in terms of the Raiders and the Rabbitohs, Payne Haas, you do not want to play the Broncos.
No.
And Reynolds, for me, Reynolds showed his true value, not in the way he set up Reece Walsh a couple of times on those nice line breaks. Did you watch a game like all the way through? Yeah. So did you see just before the Pierre Quarter try, Reece Walsh is 100 miles an hour, fully just wants to break the game open and score off every single play. Gets the ball, double cut out, cross over the top, hits Jesse Arthurs in the chest. Jesse Arthurs steps off his right, comes back in. Reece Walsh then bounces from the middle of the field, starts kicking back out left, and he is screaming. If you go back and watch it, he's screaming at Reynolds. Jesse Arthurs, it was one of the slowest play the balls of all time. It took like 3 or 4 seconds. Reynolds turns around and tells him to shut up, basically.
Yeah.
Without lip reading, just like calm down. He lays the line with Xavier Willison just to calm things down. And then he gets the ball out of the back shape, gives it to Walsh. Walsh goes short ball, Piakura try.
Oh, was that the sequence?
That was the sequence. Right. And that's when I was like,
that's what he needs.
That's when I started coming up that rower shit. And I'm like, what's
slow this little fucker down.
That's all he needs. He doesn't need play to play, sideline to sideline. He just needs that vet to go, hey, Jock Madden did a really good job in the middle part of the year. Jock Madden ain't going to go, Walsh, relax.
No, he's going to get the lion's share.
I'll get you the next one. Jock Madden's going, bang, here you go, have it. Josh Rogers, he's going, here you go, Walshy, have it. Like, because Walshy wanted the ball.
Yeah.
He was
what are you
feeling
going to do,
himself.
when you're a young kid, like, give it to him.
Yeah.
Where Reynolds
is like, nah. I think he goes across, he just drops Xavier Willison on, gets a fairly decent play the ball. And then he goes, all right, here you go, Walshy. Out the back of shape, bang, lets it rip to him. Walshy goes, double pump, short, Piakura, pretty much untouched. Goes on.
Yeah. I like that kid, man, Piakura. But I like Walsh, but I love Reynolds' like his impact on the game. Wasn't much, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like he was going to the line and making all these massive tackles and that, but his presence on the field, his game managing is one of the best. And just to slow that little fucker down.
Yeah.
Walsh, slow him down. He wants to touch the ball 3 times out of every set.
Yeah.
When it's in good ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When he's in that middle of the field, that's his like from 20 to 20, he's the most dangerous person on the field.
Yeah, you're right.
Because he can go fucking full tilt and like things can just happen off him. And then all of a sudden, who appears? Ezra, man. Fucking bang. Straight to the house. Just off him. He just goes at it, and something will happen. But he just needs to learn little things like Reynolds knows, right? Lay that line, get the players in there so you can get your one-on-ones out there.
I think he's more dangerous from the 50 than he is inside the 20. He takes more shots from the 50 than he does inside the 20. Like he attacks from the 50.
And that's where they don't expect it.
Yes, and he makes a few errors as well off the back of it. That's where he turns ball over, where the Broncos fans, or he puts the Broncos under the pump. But when it comes off like it did,
he just needs to make it come off all the time. Most of the stuff what he's done just is overplaying his hand when he's getting he'll try a kick. He'll try just like some crazy shit, work the sideline too much, crowd everyone out. Like it's just when he just plays to his strengths, when he's got a beautiful skill set, right? Probably one of the best. So dangerous to be quick like that, stop on a dime and throw a fucking dart. Like that left to right ball that he threw.
Yeah.
There was no need for that. There was no need for that 30-meter ball.
No.
He could have just went out the back. It was like a fucking NFL throw.
Yeah.
And the dude went straight over the center's hands into I was like, there was no need for that, but it was great.
Yeah.
It was great what you did.
He just let it rip too low.
Just bang off the inside hip. His talent, if they can just cultivate that and coach it really well, you're going to get a year like he did last year. And if they can make a run on it, they're the scariest team in the NRL.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially like with Payne Haas back and Carrigan. They're like, fuck this.
Payne Haas and Carrigan, both 100 metres, that's it.
Yeah. And they didn't really, thank God.
They weren't required because Walshy was just so good. And Knights were equally as bad turning the ball over. Knights had no patience in this game. I think
it's a hard watch, man, with Gamble and Hastings.
I think that it really stressed them out. Like Walshy's, the way that Walsh asserted himself on the game, it put a lot of pressure on the Knights. They just can't figure out their best spine. I've got written down. So it's a number of reasons. Adam O'Brien has either not given them enough time or he hasn't been able to. They've been in and out. But I reckon an underrated part of their problem is just as much the spine, whether it's Will Price and Hastings or Gamble and Hastings or what's the other guy's name? Cogger and Hastings.
Where's Cogger? Is he in reserve grade or is he injured?
I think he got dropped.
Wow.
I think one of the biggest problems as well is Crossland and Brayley's situation. And I say it because
one has to go.
I think Crossland has outplayed Brayley, obviously, during the period that he was out and then now even coming back. But Brayley is one of their leaders. So it's a tough one, right? You know, how hard is it when you know?
Big buy from Granola too.
Yeah. He'd be on decent coin, and you know what it's
Crossland
like.
would be on fuck all, and he's a local junior.
When one of your leaders is being outplayed by a guy that should be getting a run, it's like,
It's hard. That's what I'm saying. Like he's recruited Brayley, and Crossland's grown. That's the difference there. They should be rewarding Crossland. And so, mate, he's been injured the whole time, Brayley, up there. He's a great leader and everything like that, but he's been injured and Crossland's come over. He overtook him last year, but he's still fucking figuring it out. You got to like sort that shit out if you're a head coach. Like, what the fuck are you dropping Will Price for? I know, and he needs to learn, but like he's not going to learn by being in reserve grade.
Nah.
Play first grade when you replace him with fucking who? Tyson Gamble? It's not like you're replacing him with fucking Brad Fittler or Cam Munster.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's the problem. Like, none of these guys are outplaying what the other one would have done anyway.
Just trying to figure out and catch and fire from last year. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening.
It's up to them too. It's not like, you're right, Even though
it's not Gamble's fault he's get put in. It's the coach's fault.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Price deserved to get dropped.
Yeah.
Not unless it's someone that is like a true and tested. I'll cut that out. Not unless it's someone who's like tried and tested.
Yeah.
Like your proper six every week. It's not him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. And then because of that, I reckon Kalen was trying to get it like very similar to we're about to talk about the Roosters fullback in a bit and the frustrations that he has. Kalen was getting in a dummy half. He was getting in down the short side. He wanted to be on ball because he felt like he wasn't getting the quality ball that he was getting last year. And he would have seen Reece Walsh doing everything that Reece Walsh was doing on the opposite side and was like, why don't I get in that
Why can't I get the quality? Why do you reckon they went on that 10-run game last year? Why? Was it Kalen Ponga? Did Kalen Ponga just catch fire? And now Kalen Ponga's been out for 10 weeks.
No, I reckon
everyone did.
Yeah, everyone did.
Everyone did, collectively.
Yeah.
And when Ponga just added a little bit of fucking cream to it, right? But everyone played their part, not just the way. They've gone back to just Ponga ball, where everyone was involved in those 10 games.
You're right.
Everybody. It wasn't just pass the ball out the back to Ponga. Now everyone's just doing that again. All like working really hard from in the middle. It's a basic block shape and Ponga's out the back. Everyone's just fucking doing it because these other guys aren't testing you at all. Very one-dimensional attack. So when you play against good defenses like Brisbane, Penrith, all these, mate, they'll shut you down.
Yeah.
They'll shut Ponga down. But Ponga was 10 out of 10 for 10 games. And Gamble, he was catching fire. Hastings was doing this. Saifidi brothers, Tyson Frizzell, everyone was playing outstanding.
Yeah. If they had more
But they're
variety.
not doing it now. It's like the Warriors. It's fucking hard to catch that fire consistently for years. That's why fucking Penrith proved to me to be the greatest fucking team of all time because they keep fucking doing it.
It's the variety having both Dom Young and Greg Marzu. So he was able to go to both sides. Now I think he's completely locked into the
Dom
left.
Young scored 20 fucking something tries last year, bro. So did Marju. They were on. Gags was on. Bradman Best was on. He was on that back 10. What's happening now? Hamstring injuries. Ponga's got a Liz Frank. That's what happens in seasons like this.
Yeah.
So when you're not,
Nothing's
your culture's
guaranteed.
not like your Melbournes and Penriths, you're going to come back down to the pack.
Yeah.
When you're up there, when you start catching fire like the Warriors and that did last year, it's because collectively they play great. 6 or 7 having outstanding seasons. Their career best years. It's happened last year with the Knights.
Yep.
They just jagged a couple more games than the Warriors. You know what I mean? Like they just seemed to be
They went on
a bit of a run.
They went on a shorter but a more consistent run at the back end. Warriors were more consistent all the way through the year. Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough one for the Knights one finishing off as well. All right, the Storm defeat the Roosters 24-8. There you go. I'm a Roosters hater. Yeah, heaps. The Storm 24 defeat the Roosters to 8. How about this? This sums up Melbourne better than anything. The emergence of the left edge for the Melbourne Storm. Jack Howarth, Anderson, and Blore. Howarth was he was a really highly touted player. Took a little while to develop. And it's been a little bit frustrating. You hear about Bellamy talking about the development of Howarth. He thought he was going to come on, but geez, he's looking good. Anderson was close to the best player on the field for either team. And he's been in the mix now for a couple of years, but just hasn't been able to cement his spot. And then Sean Blore's always shown glimpses of this at the Tigers, but just like the Tigers. Yeah. And then you add in what Tyrone Wishart is doing this year, and you start looking at it going, he's the next sort of Nico Hines that they're going to produce down there where I don't know what his best position is. I don't know.
He's played wing, centre, 5'8", lock, for hooker.
Fullback.
That's your utility.
Yeah.
That's the best utility in the game.
Yes. He's he's going to be the Connor Watson for the Melbourne Storm moving forward.
Quad's like his dad.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
well built.
Like I think that left edge sums up Melbourne better than what anyone I guess could give the description of like what makes Melbourne so great.
I just can't believe they did that. I was sitting here last week and I was just like, I'll give the Roosters a pass. The only reason why I said I'll blame Origin. I'm struggling to blame Origin. I'm like, maybe fucking Melbourne's just their kryptonite. They just can't do it. I think when they come up against a structured defense, and they just work fucking hard like your Penrith and Storm, it throws the Roosters off. Yeah. Because they're very ad-lib, right? And then, the way that Sam Walker plays is not that structured. He likes to play off the top of his head when it gets thrown out, and they just work hard from the inside. It seems to fuck up their plays, right? I'm not sure. I'll give him a little bit of a pass because Hargraves wasn't there and like Crichton and all that were backing up. But I'm like, not that much. Not that much. I think Melbourne just has that defense and their mentality just to really fuck the Roosters over.
It's definitely a mental thing at this point too, right?
Yeah.
That has to be a part of it.
19 out of 20 games.
Crazy.
That starts to affect here. You know, like I don't know what to look at the Roosters. How is this team the team that was 4 weeks ago? They look unstoppable.
Yeah, but it's because they're not playing the Storm or the Panthers. Like I
know, that's it.
They look like the best team in the comp against anyone.
Anyone else but those two. And why do you reckon? Why do you reckon?
I think. All right, so we'll get straight to the Roosters because I get hammered on this.
Mate, Storm's the grouse.
I get hammered on this a lot. Everyone thinks I'm a Roosters hater because of the GF, but surely the Roosters fans
He's over it.
Surely the Roosters fans.
Diplomatically, you're speaking.
Yes.
As a footy savant.
So I can. I can understand them not beating Penrith because Penrith have beat everyone. They've lost fucking hardly any games. So I can give them a pass for the Penrith.
Yep.
But this Melbourne team isn't the Melbourne team of Cam Smith, Billy Slater, Cooper Cronk. They've gone through a new era. And not only have they gone through a new era, Ryan Pappenhausen's missed a shitload of footy. Cam Munster's missed a bit of footy as well.
Yeah.
Jerome Hughes, Harry Grant. It's not like they've played the world-beating Melbourne Storm. Look at the left edge for the Storm. Howarth, Anderson, Blore and Wishart. The right edge was going opposed against them was Victor Radley, Sam Walker, Dom Young and Satili Tupanua.
Tupanua's back row.
Still,
yeah.
Give me him over Howarth.
Good defensively.
Give me him over Howarth any day of the week. So I think it's definitely a structural thing. And I even think if you start looking at it right and the success that Melbourne have had against the Roosters in the past 5 years and the success that Queensland have had against the New South Wales Blues in the last couple of years with Billy being a product of the Melbourne Storm, it's like the Melbourne Storm have figured out the best way to neutralise the best player in the Roosters in the last 5 years, and that's Teddy.
How do they do that?
How
do they do that? I'm just looking at their game going, they make it so messy in defence and they work so hard and they just put him in different positions and Sam Walker looks like he's not getting the ball when he needs it.
Yeah.
You know, everyone just, I don't know what it is. Like Teddy gets the ball on short sides and like, it just seemed really fucking out of structure.
I think they don't let Teddy play out the back of shape. So anytime Teddy's out, in my opinion, I think they wedge pretty hard on, like just say if you're in a position and it goes, if they dig into the line, they're going to back themselves to defend Teddy and wedge and put some pressure on him. And then once he gets the ball off the first receiver or gets in a dummy half, you know, he likes to get in off a quick play the ball and bounce around. Then they just back up. They let Teddy run himself out of space, I think.
Yeah.
That was the observation that I had on the weekend.
At it and just went, how are they just nullifying that whole Roosters attack who just looked unstoppable about a month ago? And it just looked clunky and just all out of sorts, you know? The only one who straightened it all back up was Spencer Leniu when he come on, just ran hard. But I think at the start of that game, like everyone's saying, you know, you got big raps on Terrell May, so have I. There's a difference between starting and coming off the bench. How Hargraves is starting those games, his defensive moves and his shape and everything like that is fucking second to none. He don't miss. Terrell May got caught slipping a couple of times, clean line breaks off Harry Grant. He got skinned coming off the line.
Oh yeah,
skinned.
Was that
Terrell May?
Okay,
twice, and I was just like, he's way off. You know what I mean? You had Lindsay Collins and he was coming off the bench, so you had these other young props, and they just weren't up to it.
Who else started with him then? Because Spencer come off the bench as well. Terrell May and who? Rads.
Have a look. But I just think they were just way off the pace.
Yeah,
they got skinned.
And I understand that with the Jared comparison, but Jared's been there for the last 5 years and they haven't got the job done as well.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just looking at this game here.
Yeah,
that's
specifically.
All.
But there has to be a core problem, and you know, the greatness of Melbourne, and you talk about, you know, them winning grand finals, they always sort of have a specific player, a plan for a particular player, and it's served them really well, like limiting Jason Tomalolo during that period that they played him in the grand final was key to them shutting down the Cowboys in their run when Cowboys went on a back run. Shutting down Hainsey in 2009 was a big part.
This is the best. I know Penrith has put it on steroids, you know what I mean? But this is the the bee's knees of defence is Melbourne. Everything comes from Melbourne. And they've got plans in for every team.
Yeah.
And Bellamy's the most detailed, most organised, defensive-orientated coach there is. He's unbelievable at his detail, who we can shut down and like fuck up game plans, right? And that's what he looks like he's done all the time against the Roosters. I have no fucking answer for it other than just running hard. In the middle, they just got dominated by Josh King and all these other younger sort of players.
Yeah, Naful White.
Yeah.
He was the starter.
Yeah, they just got caught out of the blocks, man.
Yeah, like you look at the Storm, like fucking Cheese went after it too. By the way, his physicality, he was trying to bang people. But yeah, Josh King, Tui's a toiler.
But they just don't.
Trent Liero's a toiler.
Mate.
Alec McDonald, Joe Chan, Lazarus Varlepu. He plays 11 minutes. Joe Chan played 21.
You know
Alec McDonald played 30.
Eli Katoa.
He's so good.
I tell you the problem. The answer to shut Crichton down: put Eli Katoa at right full. He's the only one to put Crichton like not as dominant, right? Crichton's been dominating everyone for like 12 weeks now. I reckon Katoa sort of like nullified him because he's a big, strong human, man.
Yeah, one of the best ways to nullify Angus Crichton is sending some shape at him so you can tire him out offensively.
But in attack, he was like he was going at it.
Yeah.
And Katoa was in his face every time.
Yeah.
And he was not backing off.
Pretty much every presser, Bellamy's been speaking glowingly about Katoa and his development down there.
Because he's fucking out. He just keeps getting better and better and better. I reckon him and those two guys have been the best back rows in the comp.
Yep. That would be
Eli
left.
Katoa will be right.
Left
and
for right
Crichton is
for.
left. Yep. I think they're the best two back rows in the comp. And they pretty much cancelled each other out on the weekend. Which was good. It was a good battle. It was a really good battle.
Which was now that you look at it in hindsight, considering what Angus Crichton and the form that he's been off the back of what he's been doing has led to not only Roosters victories but New South Wales, that was a crucial part of shutting down the Roosters as well.
Shutting Crichton down.
Because Sam Walker gets off the back of Angus Crichton's quick play the balls and offloads and that as well,
and I think he's probably the head on the plate, right? I'm going to give him another chance. I'm not sure whether they're going to meet, but
they won't get Melbourne or Penrith
semi-final,
now.
man.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a semi-final, and then you're going to have all that chat. Maybe it's a top 4 game to get
it's going to be a prelim or something, I reckon, and it's going to be awful.
Oh, well, it's going to be first week of finals. They'll finish top 4, the Roosters, because they'll beat everyone else. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
My biggest concern is they can't beat the Storm or the Panthers. So they will play either the Panthers or the Storm in first week of finals. And then
I hope to God, because I just think if you get them on their day in a grand final, it's the only team that can get Penrith. But fuck, I reckon Melbourne can too now. If you get Munster back, apparently the young man's coming back this week.
Yeah, apparently he's good to go.
What does he add? And then it takes Wishart back to the bench, and then that just looks stronger. Melbourne just looks stronger.
No Nelson and no Christian Welsh in this game either.
Right? But when you talk about like Hargraves and all that missing, but what's that fucking noise?
Yeah. Is that coming through? Can you hear that? There's like some construction. No, it was construction going next door. It just stopped.
Anyway, I can't put my finger on it. I'm going to watch the Roosters nice and close.
Yep.
But I can't get a read on them against any other team. They look unstoppable unless they play these two. And then everything just goes out. I don't know what it is. I was like, it's hard when we play against great defensive systems and then it nullifies Brandon Smith because he plays off the cuff and it nullifies Connor Watson who plays off the cuff. And Sam Walker, 3 of your main keys, get the lion's share of the ball and everything. So you fuck those guys up, you got a long way to getting the W at the end, and they always do.
Yep. And it's not like the Panthers pack that's nullifying the Roosters pack as well. It's the Storms pack.
That's what I'm saying. That's system. You need. I know anyone who plays off the bench or anything like that or comes into that system has to be Melbourne made. You have to. You're not putting it. You're not giving them starts just because you're a good junior.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
You fucking buy into our culture and you got to work hard. Even the young brother who come on at the end, I'm like, he must be all right because you're not just picking a big guy out from reserve grade or whatever.
Yeah.
He had to be like doing all the right things.
Yeah.
Everything right.
Even Sul Falongo comes at the end and gets a try right at the death.
Wow.
The other team.
The dive again.
Yeah, the dive. He doesn't give a fuck. The other team that gives the Roosters a lot of dramas, just like I said, they give everyone Panthers 28, defeat the Dolphins 26. This one's simple. I reckon we are witnessing greatness and we're not fully appreciating how good Nathan Cleary is, because that's the nature of what sports are like, and sometimes we're in the moment and you don't realise it until it's gone. He is a legend of the game, and Panthers are going to win 4 in a row. Like, they're going to win 4 in a row. It is what it is.
He had a terrible first half, I reckon, Cleary, defensively, because he had a new right four, right? So he had Eisenhuth in the middle for Yo. He had someone else in there. So it's like he was on an island in the first couple where Hammer smoked him. Katoa got him, you know what I mean, showing out because he didn't have faith, because he didn't have the dog of all dogs, right? They protected him. But they figure it out. Cleary figures you out somehow, and no one gives a shit about that first half. Only care about the W now.
That's all that matters.
But if they had lost that game, there'd be more critiquing on Nathan's game. But his first game back, you know, he steers him into a great win again. Hammers out. Yeah, they played good, man. The Dolphins are ever going to get him. It's now.
Yeah.
They had everybody out.
Yep.
Apart from the Prince.
It was a 50-50 first grade team with New South Wales Cups. Like Taruva Tungle, they're going to be there. Brad Schneider won't. With Cleary, Leota, Mitch Kenny and James Fish-Harris is handy. Scott Sorensen is handy. Liam Henry's a bench player at this point. Matt Eisenhuth is in and out of the team. Trent Talau, he won't play much. Lindsay Smith is always going to be there. Luron Patea and Maverick Geyer, they've got about 10 games between them. It was the time to beat Penrith at Penrith, and
they still managed to win.
He just come up with a moment. Like, man, that kick of hardly any, like, build-up or expectation.
You know he's going to be good. That Katoa kid, the shit that he does right now is special. People just don't know what they're doing. The way he squares up for everything like that and digs into the line, Cleary and that weren't doing that at that age.
The little double pump skip
like
that he's got.
Like he's copping his licks and everything like that, where that was the knock on Cleary early in his career. He wasn't running, he didn't square up, all that sort of shit.
He's even said that himself.
Yeah, and he knew that.
Yeah.
This kid's doing it now. Yeah. He just turned 20. That's what you're looking at there. I don't know who he's going to play for, whether it be New Zealand or New South Wales.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Still yet to make the decision,
trying to
apparently.
get him, because he's going to be a rock star.
This is why
everything. The only thing.
Sorry, mate.
No. I was just speaking to Joey about him as well, and he goes, I said, he doesn't really run that much. And he goes, that's the last thing that comes to your game. This shit that he's doing now, you don't get that until you're fucking near 30.
Yeah.
But he's doing it now. Yeah, and then then he'll pick his runs where he got Cleary slipping, he got the right four coming across, got them both.
Yeah.
Like he adds that to his game. When you because he squares up so good, then he's going to be a big problem, because he digs in and makes you have to dig in on me. You want to fucking slide late? Try.
When
he's going to start doing special shit, man.
Like, I played out in Western Sydney. When you think about the stereotypical Islander, Tongan, Samoan
halfback, is he?
They're runners first, and then they develop the skills later. He's the opposite.
Totally
opposite. He wants to win the game by creating for people rather than running over people. But he's got it in the bag.
Kicking game's great.
He'd love that moment back, not kicking the field goal to go up. He'd love that one back for sure.
But like, I just look at him and go, wow, he makes his shit look easy. Like, I'm just thinking, wow, what is he going to do with his rep career? Because you need someone like that.
Well, I was thinking about this, right? We were talking about it a couple of weeks ago. I think I was speaking to someone about it off air. When you look at the trajectory and the path for him to play either a number of Origins or a number of Tests for New Zealand if he decides this.
About that.
You got Nathan in front of you, most likely for a long time, and Jerome with Mitch Moses. Or you look at New Zealand and you've pretty much got all the OGs, all the guys a little bit older, Jerome Hughes, Kieran Foran, Sean Johnson, they're all finishing up in the next couple of years. So he could end up going
Depends
on.
What he's thinking in his heart. It's all about what he wants to do, because the rest of the world's in his hand, the rugby league world, because he's got talent.
It's up to him, right?
Yeah, what he wants to do. Like, I want to play for New South Wales. Does he prioritise New South Wales as like the pinnacle of the game and like Origin, or does he look at his family roots, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Growing up in New Zealand.
Yeah, playing for New Zealand, playing for Tonga, you know, all that sort of stuff.
They missed the chance to not only get in the top 4, but now that puts them on the top 8 bubble. Like,
that's big, that bubble.
You're right. They had to win this game against a team that had a whole bunch of New South Wales Cup players playing for them, with all their Origin stars rested, and a 14-point lead with 15 minutes to go.
Just builds into the whole mystique of that Panthers team. What that culture is.
I thought Tavita was really good too.
They were good, man. Everyone was on in that first half. They were on. I thought they were going to win the game. I was like, yeah, okay, they got enough here. Then I looked because I didn't know all the players were getting rested.
Yeah.
I thought because we were watching it down at the Coogee Bay, me, Ren, and Braith. Well, first Sunday we went in there, we were all drinking water. It was weird.
Oh, you
we didn't have beer, no, because we had a coffee. Where was I? had something that footy show, and I was like, ran. I said, picked him up. Let's go for a coffee down in Coogee. It was a nice day. Had a coffee at Eccentric, the new one at Coogee Bay.
Oh yeah.
And then we're like, fuck, it's near 2:00. So we walked in there. It felt weird. Just on a Sunday, everyone was there, pissed and shit. We're like, we watched till halftime. I said, let's get the fuck out of here. It was weird. It was all right.
Yeah, we would have got a couple of looks going, geez, the boys are a little bit different from 2004 celebrations.
That's what all come back, those memories of 2004 where we had a fucking Mad Monday there. I'm like, I can't look at Coogee Bay the same, ever. That's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, and the lady who served, she goes, what do you want, Willie? I'm like, can I get some soda water, please? She goes, I said, yeah, relax. Get me out of here. Times have changed.
The Seagulls 38 defeat the Titans 8. I thought the Titans were going to pump them 13 plus after that start. Manly are a hard read.
Why can't I get them, mate?
They're hard Brent.
I think they're going to make the 8 and just shock a couple of teams. I wouldn't be surprised if they're in a prelim.
Yeah, okay.
Just something like that. Or I wouldn't be surprised if they come 11th. Yeah. That's what sort of team that I'm dealing with here. Yeah. But I saw a man called Tom Trbojevic start fucking tearing heads off, passing like the 2021 version I saw a little glimpse of.
There was glimpses of it, wasn't
it? Shit out of me. Yeah. And that's what makes me go, you could fuck around and get in a prelim this year.
Right. They can fuck around and get in the top 4. They're 1 point outside of it.
Yeah. They've had probably a down year for them.
Yep.
Like, oh shit, we just leapfrogged the Bulldogs and the Dolphins.
Well, you know what's it's been a blessing in disguise the last couple of years with Tom missing so much footy, the emergence of guys like, I know he's out right now, both of them were out on the weekend, so that's another great sign. Yeah. No Homoli Olakuatu, no Tolu Kola, who have probably been the guys that have emerged. Tommy Talau and Luke Brooks, they're right up there with the signings of the years as well. Tommy Talau, I think he's a better centre, and I keep saying this. So. I think the seniority is factoring into him moving out when Lehigh Hopewadi went off. He looks like a bad injury too, man.
He broke his nose or his eye socket there. What happens there if you crack your eye socket here and you blow your nose? That's why he closed both of his
looks painful.
His eyes.
They've got to pop it, do they?
Yeah, they've got to pop it. Yeah, so once you do that, boom. The great Haas Sailor did that in '99.
Yeah, that's right.
Cracked his eye socket, blew his nose, his whole eye blew up. So
it looks painful. He's a fucking player too, by the way. Yeah. He only played 25 minutes, but
he scored that try.
He's got that Hopewadi strength.
How does he gives me anxiety watching when they've clearly scored, right? And you want to tread your fucking ass along that
all the way around
dead ball line with one eye.
Confidence.
Oh, I love it.
He must be going like,
put it fucking down.
It was his left eye too.
Yeah,
so
he couldn't fucking see it.
He was running like that.
Muscle memory, bro. I've been here before.
Hey, the Hopewadis know that grass better than anyone.
Fucking hell.
Tommy Talau nearly ran for 300. Ben
Trbojevic has arrived, right? Second or third year in the grade now. Like he looks like he don't look out of water anymore. He's
been the most consistent Trbojevic this year for Manly, I'd say, over Tom and Jake. Yeah. Like even Jakey, Jakey's just going to be Jakey.
Jakey's going to do that for about another 3 or 4 years and just be fucking battered. He's going to be sorest man on the beaches. Yeah. Good to see Tommy go like that. DCE just orchestrated everything. Just fucking, they look dangerous, man. You get big Paseka back playing some big minutes. They'll give it a bit of a rattle. You put Olakuatu in that team.
Pardon me.
Bless you. Put Olakuatu on that edge. Totally different team. I thought Bullymore was outstanding. I thought the guy
Bullymore really good.
Who's the kid who took his place?
Carl Lawton.
He went good.
He did a great job on Fafita.
Wow. And Fafita was trying. They knew they were on the Titans and they went at it.
Carl Lawton has been a player of a lot of potential for he's
where's he from?
Gold Coast.
Goldie.
Yeah. His older brother Kane, we played you might have missed Kane. He was 13, 14 at the Manly. He's been injured heaps too. Person. No, it's his little brother Carlos. He started at the Titans. He went over to the Warriors for a couple of years as well.
Okay.
He's a bit of a super sub. Can play centres, back row, hooker. Man.
It's not the first time he's come on and made some line breaks.
Yeah.
But he started this game, did a good job.
Yeah, mate, he was like into Fafita because Fafita was trying to do those barge over tries every time he got by the line.
And he got dealt with.
You know what? And thinking about like the Fafita thing, it's almost and that's, everyone talked about like you had to get Fafita in that team, but if you think about the job that Carl Lawton did, and you know what it was. It takes a really big effort, but you have to lock in, right? Carl Lawton would have gone into that game going,
defense,
I have to give everything I have on Dave Fafita, and that can be fatiguing too. So to be able to keep that up, full credit to him. But when you think about New South Wales, if they had Liam Martin on that right edge with Crichton, level, and they would have just gone, our priority is to just rip into Dave Fafita as much as we could.
Because they did that up in Queensland. Remember North Queensland? Yeah. Fafita's first origin in 2021 or 22?
Yeah.
He got dealt with, right? So, and then I think he went back, worked on his game, and he come up. I thought that's a whole other fucking issue.
Yeah, that's like, we can go into layers of it.
But you do have to get up for Fafita.
Yeah.
You do not go into a game and disrespecting that man's talent.
Yeah.
Because he'll smoke you.
Yeah, and Carl Lawton did that, and he had a pretty good attacking game as well. I hope so. Like, man, I hope Manly can do something. I'm still a little bit. There's something quite not right. Like, I think it is my biggest concern is Tommy.
They're trying to just like, all right, let's just get into the 8 and fucking start the year now.
Yeah.
Now, I think I'll get into the 8. They'll probably finish 6th or something like that, maybe 4th. Who knows?
Fuck, if they can get to 4th, that'd be huge. They're only a point behind the Roosters. That extra point game against the Warriors could be crucial. Yeah, if the Roosters slip up in any way, they're ready to jump the Roosters. Sharks ain't a lock to finish off the season.
Up for grabs.
Yeah. 3rd and 4th, the Roosters and Sharks. They'll be hard to jump, but if they do slip up, Manly, I think they've got a pretty tough draw as well too, Manly. So we'll see what happens. All right, the last game was the Cowboys versus your Dogs, 20-18. This was you know what? There was a
fucking high quality game.
Yeah, there's a few errors in it, but they were forced errors, not unforced, like the Rabbitohs Tigers game. It was players going after each other, and it was a physical battle throughout the whole game.
Everyone was up for it, I think, because they knew the stakes, right?
Yep.
Look where North Queensland are now. We could have been sitting in, equal 5th, 4th, 5th, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So the guys they'll be hurting this morning because they put everything into that game. I thought Kikau was outstanding, Birdo was outstanding, all our big guns were outstanding. Just a couple of little plays,
I tell you who's nice, mate, is that Jackson Purdue's going to be a player for him.
Yeah, he can move good.
His best position, he played halves and fullback all the way through, so I think
he can move, man.
He's going to be the straight swap for Townsend next year.
Yeah.
I reckon it could be Dearden goes to 7 and he plays 6 from
a runner. He's more of a runner.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I can see a world like that. I don't see him playing centres.
No.
Well,
Todd Payton said that he's never played centres before in his life.
He's just a football player.
Yeah.
He's just a footy player.
Yeah.
He's a North Queensland footy player.
Holland Lukey's now starting to string some games together as well.
Yeah, he's hard to stop. Nanai went after it. Ruben Cotter went after it. They got a fucking good team.
Griffin Neame.
Griffin Neame's very good.
Jason Tomalolo he's had a really good month now, 2 months.
Yeah.
Jason's starting to get back to.
They look all right, man. The Cowboys, we did fucking. In my head, we should have sort of won that.
Yeah,
game.
Yep.
And that says a lot about us.
Yeah.
Going up there with that sort of talent on that other side. And us having a fair few troops out, and like our middles were like young as hell, and we still fucking managed to stay in the game. It says a lot about the coaching and the players' will to fucking just rip in as hard as they can for 80 minutes. Fucking great.
Yeah. Again, Ciro couldn't speak highly enough of Critter. Looked like he had a stinger. Yeah, he probably should have come
off. More than a stinger.
Well, he said
he
said it was a stinger after the game.
But
maybe he's just trying to play it down and be humble.
Yeah. Fucking oaths. Because a stinger can just go over your head like, it was. It comes back.
Yeah.
It didn't come back. It looked like it got worse.
Yeah, you're right. It was just hanging because he pushed Carraz inside him at the back end of the game.
Stinger goes away.
Yeah.
But North Queensland had to win that. They'll be what are they coming now?
They stayed in 8th because they've got a poor for and against. So the Bulldogs are still 6th. Yeah. So the ladder is looking. Let's go through. If you see if anyone, who do you think is going to be thereabouts at the back end of the year? So Storm, Panthers, Sharks, and Roosters. Do you think any of them are going to drop out of the 4?
No. Can the Sharks drop out for you? No, not on 28. They drag one more game, it's in.
They've had all their buys now. The Roosters and Eagles still have a buy. So the Cowboys, that's a big plus. The Roosters, Sea Eagles, and Cowboys all have a buy. That's huge for those 3 teams. The Bulldogs and Dolphins are done. So are the Sharks, Panthers, and Storm.
You can really mask your points, like if you take 6 points off the Cowboys or like the Dolphins or Bulldogs, you're on 18 points.
Let's go to the next week and let's do a little mini preview, eh? Who we got this week? So who jumps who? Let's just do a quick who jumps who for this round. That matters.
out.
Storm, huge game. Broncos, Bulldogs, 6th versus 11th.
Fuck. That's hard, man. Someone's going to drop out of that 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. I mean, 5, 6, 7, 8. Someone's going down.
But the Cowboys play at home against the Sharks.
Fuck.
And then Manly
Who
play
the Dolphins
Roosters.
got?
Manly play Roosters at Allianz. That'll be a revenge game for the Roosters because
Yeah.
Manly were really good against them.
Who do the Dolphins play?
Titans.
Yeah. Dolphins. Oh, shit.
Nah, that's not a gimme.
Nah.
That's not a gimme to the Titans just because the Titans didn't play
Not
well
up
on the
there.
weekend. Is this, hey, it's every game counts now.
Yeah.
There's going to be
That's
so
what
much.
makes it harder for the Broncos, for the Rabbits, and for the Knights. Because everybody from 5th down, and even the Roosters are probably like, if we get one more, we can sit and go, we're all right.
What if Manly beat them this week?
Yeah, I know. Then you shit yourself. And then the Bulldogs win, and the Dolphins win, and the Cowboys win, and you go, boop, boop, boop. The only thing that's going to keep them there is they're for and against.
Yeah, really good.
Because they're
for and
fucking
against.
amazing.
Because they smoked those bottom
Yeah,
feeder
those
teams.
fucking month they went on, they just absolutely hammered everyone. So
If they make the top 4, they'll have the Dragons to thank for their
Yes.
2 games.
yeah, it's going to be hard, man.
That's been like a 100-point swing for them on 4
Yeah,
events.
yeah, but yeah, it's going to be hard.
All
Yeah, but
right.
the Bulldogs, they had a great. They'll be just. This is the game. This could hurt. This could hurt us.
Big time.
Could hurt us.
Big time.
Anyway, deal with that when we have to go.
All right, that is review for this week. We'll have preview on Thursday. We'll see you then.
Thank you, guys.